brought to you in part by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source.
The crew of Roll With It uncovered some interesting facts about truck racing. Stay tuned for the answers to these questions later in the show. I'm in Florida, where Chris Bryson has been showing me the ropes on how to get a pro truck ready to race. I've met one of his drivers, Tyler Lau, but there's a third member of this team, Steve Darvalix. Steve's been racing for 8 years and is one cool dude behind the wheel, but he also knows his way around the shop.
Steve, you really get hands-on with your truck. This truck is not ready yet to race.
No.
What's wrong with this?
We were back here in the rear section, and we noticed one of our brake calipers. You know, there's rubbers in the pistons, and it's kind of dry rotted. Okay. So we replaced them, and now, you know, we're checking them out. We took a tire off. We got a little puddle under both the rear calipers. Okay. So we're going to go in and inspect it, see why it's leaking.
Okay, well, let's do it.
All right.
Steve says that we're going to have to bleed the brakes. Finally, a job I think I can handle on my truck back home.
When you say bleed the brakes, what do you mean by that?
Well, when you put something together, there's air trapped in there.
Okay.
And you need to get that air out because that air creates a soft pedal and it gives you a misleading feel on the brake pedal.
Okay.
So we need to get that air out and get a hard pedal.
Okay.
So,
makes sense. So I get inside the truck and he has me do a very difficult task.
On the right, there's your throttle pedal. We don't want to push that one. We don't need it.
That's a brake.
On the left, there's your brake. You're going to want to give it, you know, 3 soft pumps.
3 soft pumps, okay.
And on the third one, just hold it locked down. We're going to go back here and we're going to loosen the bleeder, and it's going to let, if there's any air in there, out. Maybe we left it loose, so we'll just go back there and check it out.
He gave me the directions. Pump 3 times and then press down. Okay, ready?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, holding it down.
All right, now we're going to go down here.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good. We didn't have any air come out of it. So,
all right. So you're going to do the other side?
Yep.
I'm just going to stay in here, all right?
Yep.
Perfect. I figured it out. I finally got it stuck in my memory. 1, 2,
3 soft pumps.
3. Hold all the way in. The brake just went in.
That's what the brake fell. I released the fluid out. Make sure there's no air bubbles that came out with the fluid.
Okay.
We're good to go.
Right on.
All right.
Pro trucks are built for one thing in mind: speed. You want to get your truck faster and also improve fuel economy? Then pop up the hood and let's get started. First, remove the cylinder head from your truck and pull out the exhaust valve. Next, secure the valve in a vise and use a wire brush to remove carbon buildup on the back side and face. Use a rotary tool with a 120 grit flap wheel to smooth out any imperfections on the valve face. Use the rotary tool with a polishing wheel and paste to add a final touch to the valve face. So why clean your truck's exhaust valves? Carbon buildup can impede airflow, which causes a loss in horsepower and gas mileage. Cleaning your valves also prevents further carbon buildup. So prepare to get dirty and get it done. Alright, we've got the bearings lubed up, the brakes are fixed, and I'm getting anxious to see this truck in action. But first, I'm curious about the old school layout on these trucks. Chris calls it the setup.
Well, our setup is a more older style setup. Everybody now are trying a lot of the new high-tech stuff. My brother and I have been doing this for quite some time. There was probably 10 or 15 years that we'd gotten out of it. And really all we knew was what we knew from 10 or 15 years ago. So rather than try to learn all the new stuff, we just applied it. And come to find out, we feel it's the best anyways.
Now, I don't know, my truck doesn't have that hose sticking out like that. Is that something that's broken?
Oh, no.
A hose
no.
that's come loose? I mean, why don't you have that connected back into the... Is that for nitrous?
No, that's not for nitrous, Greg. That's, it connects right here. Connects right here. and that's the radiator overflow. Some people choose to run it over to a catch can to catch that little bit of water if it was to run hot.
Right.
We choose to run it up there to where the driver can see it if it starts blowing some steam out.
Okay.
He's
There's no
gonna see it.
gauges that he can see?
Well, we've got a couple gauges, but you know, when you're racing hard, you're not all the time looking at
Right.
them.
You have a couple gauges?
Yeah, we don't have very many gauges. We've kept it pretty simple. You know, we've just got the oil pressure and the water temperature.
Okay.
Also a light on each one of those, you know, to where it will light up. We don't have any tachometer in it. You know, a lot of people has a lot other gauges and a lot of, I call them gadgets inside, but, you know, we chose just to keep everything out of it that we didn't need.
It's really pretty simple. They don't want a lot of weight on the truck, so it's faster.
Believe it or not, I think I'm getting this whole race truck maintenance thing. You've got to keep friction to a minimum by lubricating moving parts. You also have to make sure that brakes are in proper working order by bleeding them. There's no way that can be all. In fact, I think Chris has saved the best for last. Now I really have to pay attention.
The driver doesn't really do the setup, you know, the crew chief.
Well, tell me about how the setup is done.